What's up, all you movie lover badasses out there? Fat Samurai Guy here with Lady Fat Blood, and today we're going to review Doctor Strange. We're a little late with this review. Sorry about that.
Hey, y'all remember we actually started this channel doing movie reviews.
Yeah. Sorry, but better late than never. If you haven't seen Doctor Strange, this will be a spoiler discussion of what we thought about the movie. So stop the video, go watch Doctor Strange, go pay for it in 3D IMAX. Because I'm sure it's awesome. Come back. For those of you that are curious out there, we'll give a little brief plot synopsis.
Yeah, you know what the really funny thing is that if you watch the trailer, that's pretty much the synopsis. This Dr. Stephen Strange.
Who's a dick.
He's we'll get to that. He's this brilliant surgeon.
And a dick.
And he gets into this car wreck.
Because he's a dick.
While being a dick. And he gets the reconstruction on his hands, but it's not enough. His hands shake. And he finds out about this possible miraculous cure somewhere in the East. And so he spends what's left of his money and he goes there and he learns the art of magic, and he has to basically decide if he wants to use it for good or if he wants to use it for selfish means and go back to his mundane life. And I gotta say, I am proud of this movie. They put a lot of faith in the audience to basically just ride with it. You know, they went there with the whole mind-bending thing. You know, you had a bit of expository dialogue here and there, but I feel like in a movie like this, you need somebody there to explain to everyone what's going on, because, newsflash, I know nothing of Doctor Strange.
Me, you know, reading comics all my life, ever since I was a kid, I always knew about Doctor Strange, but I never really was a fan of Doctor Strange. I always thought he was just too cheesy. It was like, get your Doctor Strange out of here. X-Men, here we go.
Yeah, and for someone like me, I knew the name Doctor Strange, and I briefly would hear snippets here and there. I know at one point in the comic book universe, doesn't he train Scarlet Witch to kind of help control her powers?
In one version.
In one of the many millions of variations you'll get in any one given story. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, you know, for someone like me, I needed this kind of explanation. You know, one of the first things that popped into my head when the Wizards, the opening shot, it's the Wizards duking it out. And I'm thinking, okay, nobody notices these buildings crumbling in on each other and twisting and morphing, and then nobody sees it, but they explain it. And they, you know, some people I've heard complain that the movie is, the pacing is off, and that sometimes you just get too much dialogue, and
it's boring.
And it's dull.
I was surprised that they said this movie was boring.
I was very surprised, I try to listen to people's criticisms of films with an open mind, because sometimes I will miss certain things. Yeah. You know, or somebody will give me something that I never would have thought of necessarily on a first viewing, but maybe after a second viewing, okay, yeah. But in this particular case, I didn't find the movie dull at all.
No.
I didn't find the story, when they were trying to develop the characters, dull. I liked that Stephen Strange was not just an asshole. He is quite possibly the biggest asshole we have seen in Marvel to date. Bigger of an asshole than Tony Stark. And I am not kidding. Like, when he gets into these arguments, he gets into this one major argument with Rachel Adams, and he is just like, whoa! Yeah, Rachel, leave this fool. Just get out of here, you know. He is a full-blown dick. He is an egotist. I want to say that he was having a phone conversation right before he crashed his car, and they made mention of a man who was paralyzed from the waist down due to a back injury that he received in an armored suit. So in other words, Stephen Strange denied Rhodey surgery because it wasn't glamorous enough for him, and it wasn't going to give him a name. It was too boring.
Damn it.
Asshole!
But there is something to admire and like about him as well. Otherwise, we wouldn't give a shit about this character the whole movie. There is something there. But in terms of boredom, for us, you know, everybody's different, but in terms of boredom, we were actually very surprised, pleasantly surprised with the action sequences in the movie. I mean, the special effects were really good. I mean, very rarely here and there that you can see, oh, that's CGI, but pretty much 80% of the special effects were really, really, really well done. So please go see it in the theater. This is one of those movies you gotta see on the big screen, okay? Yeah. But the thing is like, the only real nitpick with the action sequences is during the hand-to-hand fight combat. The camera is well choreographed, but the camera's little bit too close.
Too close.
A little bit too close. I mean, if the director would have pulled back a little bit to show the movement a lot better, that would have been, huge pluses.
Yeah.
But it's a nitpick. It's not that bad. It's not too zoomed in to where you just see this.
It's not green grassing it where it's choppy as hell and where you can't tell what's going on. It's just zoomed in so close that in a few brief shots it is hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a minor nitpick though. But in terms of like throwing down, they throw down in this movie. They get down, and I was not expecting that in cheesy Doctor Strange universe. I was not expecting people running on the side of walls, martial arts.
Yeah,
and then like I love the whole mirror universe dimension thing that they create so they can brawl. I love that. It's so fucking awesome, man. Like obviously they can't make themselves known to the regular people of Earth. They can't do that, right? So they're just like, when they see each other, they're just like, oh, okay, you want battle? You want to throw down? All right, hold on a second. Let's create this mirror universe. Blah. All right, nobody can see this. It's fucking dope, man. It's good. Like, I was surprised. I was very surprised.
They did.
I expected to be bored and just cheese. Like Doctor Strange is incredibly difficult character to do and bring to the big screen. I did see an animated movie that Marvel released years ago, way back, and that was really the first time where I went, this could be a live action film, if done the way the animated movie was done. But this, obviously way better than the animated movie, but that was the first time where I didn't feel the cheese, when I watched that animated movie. I didn't feel
for lunch.
Yeah, I didn't really, feel the whole, oh God, roll my eyes, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get down.
And once again, Marvel has not skimped on the casting.
Mm-hmm.
We have, one of the things I've been really admiring about Marvel in this past few years is the quality and the caliber of actors that they score for their films. You have Glenn Close, you've got Samuel L. Jackson, you got Robert Downey Jr., you've got now Mads Mikkelsen, you've got Benedict Cumberbatch, you've got Tilda Swinton, Anthony Hopkins, and the list goes on. And now we have the addition of, unfortunately, our new resident baddie, who did a heel turn faster than Hulk Hogan in the NWO. In, what is his name, Modor?
Yeah.
Okay, played by, I apologize greatly for the butchering of this
I'm not saying it.
His name, Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's amazing. He, and again, I jokingly bitch about his heel turn by the end credits. It was almost like Kevin Feige read over the script and said, you know that this character becomes the arch nemesis of Doctor Strange eventually, right? Oh shit, credit sequence! It was literally almost that bad.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, he was so compelling as this character.
Yeah.
He was so heartfelt and sincere, and I am looking forward to seeing him later on, even if he's gonna be the bad guy. Maybe they'll write him a good story, and maybe his inner demons will come back, and he's gonna have some interesting battles with Doctor Strange. Let's hope that it goes that route.
But he had, it kind of made sense a little bit to why he was just like freaking the fuck out and kind of pissed off, because he wanted to take revenge on his enemies or something like that. But Tilda Swinton, the Ancient One, basically kind of guided him and molded him and made him more centered, made him focus on defeating his inner demons than to go off and having his revenge thing. So by the end of the movie, when he figures out that, once it's made to light, once the Ancient One has been, dabbling a little bit in the dark arts, it's kind of like, he's just like, what the fuck is this? This goes against everything that we do here. What the hell? So him, getting frustrated and pissed off and leaving, that makes total sense. But yeah, it was kind of like, I'm a villain now, and there are too many sorcerers out there, and I'm gonna fuck up the guy, and now he's paralyzed now by the end credits.
Out his magic. He's stealing
so
magic now.
that was a little rushed. Now, speaking of little rushed, another minor nitpick. It didn't really bother us that much, but you don't really get a sense of how long of time has passed that Stephen Strange has been training with the Ancient One and stuff like that. Like, you can assume he's been there for several years, but the movie doesn't really make it clear. I mean, all it would take is subtitle. 5 years later,
even then, I personally felt that they did a good job in establishing that he is struggling with trying to learn his powers. Yeah. I didn't find that the time gap, I didn't think it was important because they showed that it didn't just come naturally to him. So I didn't have a problem with their lack of explanation of, he's been here for 2 years, 3 years, or whatever.
But it's a minor nitpick.
Yeah.
It didn't really bother us, though. But for some people, it almost ruined the movie.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
They were bored.
Yeah.
And just like yawning, and the action sequences went on for too long.
Oh, I can't.
I was like, really?
I can't disagree more with that.
What?
No.
Okay, to each his own. That's fine. But I'm just like, you're in a damn Doctor Strange movie, right? You're lucky you're getting any action.
Yes. And honestly, my personal opinion as of right now, this is probably one of my favorite origin stories.
Yeah.
And again, I do have to chalk up my response to certain films, my knee-jerk response to certain movies. Sometimes the movies that I know nothing about going in, like, we only saw one trailer for this.
Yeah, and we weren't really impressed.
Yeah, it was like, well, okay, that could be interesting, but but the thing is like, sometimes when you go in with zero expectations, you have a basic idea of what the movie is.
Yeah.
But, you go in just thinking, well, this might be fun, it might be interesting, and to have them be respectful to the audience, to trust that, no, there's magic in the Marvel Universe now, and they're going to deal with it. Long gone are the days where people are hesitant to put red eye contacts on the character of Gambit because the audience might not understand why he always has red eyes.
Yeah.
That was a fucking thing in Origins.
X-Men Origins.
Oh, we might have too many blue people. Why is Mystique and Nightcrawler blue?
Yeah.
If we have Beast in here, that's going to be too many blue characters. That's going to confuse people,
And that was real too.
You know what I'm saying?
That was brought up.
Those days are gone, at least for the MCU.
Yeah.
They're trusting their audience to be like, no, this is just how it's going now. There are physical threats to the planet, and that's what the Avengers are for. And there are other threats, there are other worldly threats, and that's what this group is for. I thought, did some of the humor, was it a little forced? Maybe. Yeah. But I was entertained by it.
Yeah, not everybody laughed at everything,
No,
but there was
of
a
course
lot of, in the audience that we saw a movie with, they were busted up.
Yeah,
there were some funny moments in the movie. Again, unexpected.
Exactly.
We weren't expecting humor. We weren't expecting action.
Exactly.
So we were just like, wow. I mean, I like, his levitation.
Oh.
His levitation cape is great.
His cape was adorable. It's freaking adorable. It was one of the most fun things.
Drying his tears for him, and he's like, stop that.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing, and our friend Mr. Scott Adkins makes an appearance. He actually gets a line. And he gets some fight time in the film, and he got to show off some of his moves.
Yeah.
And the cape took him down.
It's all right, Scott. We still love you.
It's okay, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you've gone out worse. You were in
right.
Legend of Hercules.
Yeah, hard target too.
Oh, Jesus. Again, something else that I really, really enjoyed. There was no real true love story in this film.
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams' character and Benedict Cumberbatch, they had pretty good chemistry in terms of they bantered well off of each other. Aside from that, they never really went there. They had this history, and they're kind of friends. They trust each other, especially McAdams. She has to go to him.
There's some kind of attraction, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, they've had a history.
Yeah.
They've said they've had a history before, but
they don't cross the line.
In this particular case, Steven was a total dick to her. And if she were to just take him back, all of a sudden that would be really stupid, even though he's a changed man and blah blah blah. But anyway. They didn't kiss. There was like a little kiss on the cheek. Yeah. There was none of that schlock where, oh yay, they're together. No, it was a nice little respectful friendship, but more than,
It felt a little bit more realistic.
It did. And props to Rachel McAdams. She actually had some funny parts in the film where she's trying not to freak out about all this astral stuff that's going on around her, and she keeps screaming.
Yeah,
And
anybody would react, the same way. Like, what the fuck is happening? What's going on?
It just got more and more adorable the more she did it.
Yeah, it was subtle. We need more subtle.
Yeah.
No more of this blatant. You know, as much as we're so excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because we love the first movie so much, I hope that whole movie isn't fucking Star-Lord trying to fall in love with Gamora. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
That's gonna ruin a lot for me.
Yeah, that better not be the whole movie.
No.
And that better be subtle too. Like, he still likes her and there's some kind of attraction, but they don't go there. Because if that's the whole movie, get the fuck out.
You know, I don't know where this became such a long-standing rule that there has to be romance in a film.
Yes.
I feel like 95% of the time, and I know you guys have picked up on the fact that I hate romance films, okay? I get it. But honestly, truly, I feel romance gets in the way.
Yeah.
There are wars going on out there.
Yeah.
There are battles.
In the cosmic universe.
There are people dying, and you two fuckheads have to go fall in love and make that your drama?
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break.
No one can relate to the characters unless there's love.
I enjoyed the movie like crazy. I enjoyed the hell out of this film.
Wong!
Oh, yeah.
The character of Wong.
Yeah. You know, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. And, you know, to be able to go into something like this and not know what to expect and to come out having a really good time, being pleasantly surprised, not feeling like some god-awful overpaid director was rubbing his ball sack in my face for 2.5 fucking hours. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, you know, to have that, it's like, it's refreshing to go in and not feel like someone's beating you over the head with dog humping jokes. You know, it's nice to have something like that.
And to go back to the, you know, the actors performing very well. I mean, with this type of script, not saying the script is bad. We enjoy the, you know, the storyline and everything, but you know, there's a lot of magical gibberish. Yeah. Okay. And these actors, you know, these A-list actors could have easily phoned in their performance and read this and just like, you know, zippity zobbity, you know, expellios, whatever the fuck Harry Potter people, you know. Yeah. They easily could have phoned it in, but they didn't. And there was moments between Modor, I think I'm saying his name, the comic book character's name wrong. Correct me if I'm saying it wrong. But him and Strange, their banter back and forth was really good. And there's several moments in the movie I was like leaning over to her going, what is this good acting in this movie? You know, what is this? Unexpected.
Marvel, they're killing it with this casting. I mean, when you really stop and think about who they've got, we're having a Black Panther movie come. Is it next year? Chadwick Boseman, he fucking nearly stole Civil War with his character. And that was the first time we'd ever seen him. Can you imagine this guy leading a film? Yep. A darker MCU film. Did you say Michael B. Jordan is going to be in that one?
Michael B. Jordan, I think, might be the villain.
The actors that the MCU are scoring, and then their Netflix TV series, they're getting better with their casting. It's killing me how
Marvel is on fire.
And I can't think of anyone that's phoned it in yet. I mean, you could argue that some of the villains, maybe, perhaps. You know, some people complained about, once again, the villains in this. They're not that great. They're not that compelling. And yeah, did we need more backstory?
I would have preferred it a little bit more
for Mads.
From Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen is an amazing actor.
The badass Mikkelsen.
And I felt personally that if they had given him a little bit more screen time, maybe some flashbacks, we could have had a little bit better of a villain than what people are always complaining about. Because right now, he's kind of in that same level of Ronan and the guy, I can never remember his name from Thor 2, The Dark World, the white elf guy. I can never remember his name, and it's on the tip of my tongue, but anyway, I don't think he's that...
Malekith? I don't know.
Possibly. You might be right. I don't think he's that basic. He's but his performance was still solid.
Yeah, he didn't phone it in.
No!
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, no one's ever gonna beat, you know, Loki. I get it, but they set the bar so fucking high with that guy. What are you gonna do?
Now, I gotta interrupt here, all right? Don't worry, DC, all right? DC fanboys out there. Don't worry. It's gotta get better, okay? Because this is where you're at right now. We just lost all the Marvel fans right now. They just clicked away. No, we just want to throw it out there that we're still, you know, we're not Marvel biased here. We're still rooting for DC.
Do I have to show you all my Batman shelf?
Yeah, it's over there.
Do I have to show you?
We will show you one day.
I have the Batman trilogy, the Christopher Nolan trilogy, They're posters, movie-sized posters, right above our heads.
Yeah.
You do not understand my love for Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't understand my love for the two Tim Burton films and for the Nolan trilogy. You don't understand. Okay, I have explained multiple times.
Yeah.
Batman is my first love. I don't have any love for Wonder Woman, like personal love, but I'm rooting for her in her film.
The new trailer looks good.
I want good movies.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Marvel or DC. I just feel like Marvel has their shit together,
Yeah.
and DC and Warner Brothers, they're still trying to grasp at straws. I'm not completely dismissing
It has to get better. I'm just trying to be positive, damn it. I'm trying to be positive.
I just, when it boils down to it, Marvel has 10 years of this now under their belts.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to count all the way back to the Incredible Hulk. And
Edward Norton, yeah.
was there another? Was that the first? Was that the one that started it?
Yeah. Well, Iron Man was first.
So that was 2008.
Yeah, Iron Man was first. And
So,
then,
okay, so
yeah.
not even 10 years, so 8 years. Because we're in 2016. So 8 years. 8 years!
yeah, it's a long time.
Of methodically and meticulously planning all of this, okay?
And getting extremely lucky.
Exactly.
By the way.
Yes.
If Captain America, Thor, and all those other in-between movies tanked and bombed, we may never have had the Avengers.
I mean, they had it planned.
Yeah, but
that was
they
the
may
whole
have
point.
still
But the movies could have sucked
ducked out of it.
When Avengers came out.
Yeah.
People might not have given that much of a shit.
Right.
And then they got bought out by Disney, and holy shit, let's all go work for Disney because they're taking over the fucking planet.
But what I like about Marvel right now is the plethora of options.
Yeah.
You have the Guardians of the Galaxy. You got the cosmic universe. You got Strange. You got other dimensions. You got science fiction. You got gods in Asgard with Thor.
Now you got your everyday man with Ant-Man.
Yeah, and then we got our street level characters. Like if you don't want to get too superheroic-y and okay, that's too much. Get your Galactus out of there.
Yeah.
I don't want Silver Surfer. What the fuck? Get that out of there. If it's too much, then you just have street level, and you got your Luke Cages. You got your Daredevils. You got your Jessica Joneses.
Yeah.
There's so many options, and that's why Marvel's on fire as of now.
Yeah, and even though some movies are always going to be better than others,
Yeah.
I still feel like there is some kind of passion behind these.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Ant-Man went through some problems,
Yeah.
it was still. I felt like there was heart behind it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was
still fun.
still an entertaining film. And Doctor Strange, some people are saying, well, it's definitely not one of the best. Well, when you've got Winter Soldier and Civil War up there, and even the first Iron Man up there, and the first Avengers up there, of course Doctor Strange is not going to necessarily make it, but I feel like this is probably one of the better origin stories out there. I think it's one of my favorites so far.
And this is a character that needed an origin story.
Yes!
Okay,
and
guys,
I
trust us.
I also feel like this
needed an origin story.
I also feel like this is going to be one of the more watchable origin stories. As much as I love the first Iron Man and the first Captain America, I enjoy it, and the first Thor I thought were all solid films. I don't go back and watch those a whole lot.
No.
I like movies where you kind of just get it over with, and okay, now we're off on our adventure. Again, that's why I keep going back to the Winter Soldier and Civil War. It's like Civil War I love so much, but you have to watch 7 or 8 movies just to understand what's going on. And so, when you get back to these origin stories, I feel like Doctor Strange is going to be the one that I pop in every so often, just because visually it's a treat.
And that's really the only nitpick about Marvel films. I know we're saying that they're on fire. They're on fire right now. But that's the only real nitpick is that, you do kind of have to watch everything to get it, because when this character shows up in this movie, then you're like, well, who the fuck is that and why should I care?
Yeah.
But to everyone else who's been keeping up with it, it's like, oh my God, it's what you call, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there were people that didn't really give a shit at all about Civil War, which is fine. You don't have to like Civil War, but they didn't really care that much. They liked parts of the movie. And then you find out later that those same people didn't really give a shit about the Winter Soldier.
I know.
So if you're not invested with, Captain America's a Winter Soldier, if you're not really invested in that, then there's no emotional attachment going in to Civil War, so where you can enjoy that. So
I know somebody who is somewhat interested in the MCU. Watched Civil War, never saw Winter Soldier. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh.
What are you doing? You have no idea who Bucky is.
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier, that's like the main thread of Winter Soldier and Civil War now. It's about the bromance between Cap and Bucky. It's like, oh my God, you need to know
Did
all
that
this
person
stuff.
like it?
She liked it. She had like a quick rundown of it.
Okay.
But she didn't see it.
I'm surprised she liked it. To be honest,
You know. And again, you know, with Marvel, I don't know. They have too much at stake to give a shit right now. So I don't know. They had the nice little ending with Thor showing up.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Now I'm wondering
So stay during the credits. You guys know this, Marvel films.
Of course. People are walking out of the theater.
Yeah. Every Marvel movie we go to, people are still getting up and leaving.
It's like
after the movie's over.
Excuse me, you know the movie's not
There's
over
another
yet.
scene coming.
Yeah,
It's fine.
and what I'm really
But
interested
there's
about...
There's two.
Yeah, what I'm really
So
interested
don't just leave after the first one.
about the first one with Thor
Which was hilarious, by the way.
is that does this take place after Ragnarok? Because if you remember
Good question.
Thor: The Dark World, Thor thought Loki was dead.
Right.
Loki was posing as Odin.
We don't know what happened with Odin.
And all of a sudden, at the end of Doctor Strange, Thor is having this conversation with Doctor Strange, and he's like, "Why did you bring Loki here? You know what kind of a mischief this guy is into, and blah blah blah." Well, so now all of a sudden, Thor knows Loki is alive, and he knows that Odin is now missing.
Yeah.
What did we miss? So I'm thinking, okay, what? I hope they explain all of that. I know Thor: The Dark World is kind of a throwaway movie, but
Entertaining throwaway
it still
movie.
happened. Yeah. Oh, it's
Well,
fine. It's harmless.
Thor Ragnarok comes on next year, so maybe we'll give a little bit more
Jeez,
explanation.
2017. You're
I
fucking
know.
killing me, man.
I
Killing me.
know. But one thing that I loved about that scene in the end credits with Thor is that Doctor Strange is basically like a pimp. He was just like, you know, I just saved the planet, okay? I just saved the planet by myself, all right? So whatever you Avengers are doing, I don't need to ask permission or or join your team, okay? I'm just announcing this is who I am. This is what I do. Where the fuck is your brother Loki? What the fuck is going on? And let's go do this. I like how he just announced himself and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, what are you going to say to a guy who just saved the planet by himself?
Filling up his mug with beer. That was cute.
All right, I think that's enough ranting for today.
Is it morning now? Dude.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Let's go ahead and rate the movie. What do you give it?
I think I'm probably going to settle around a 4.6.
4.6?
Yeah, it's probably a little too high, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that they went there
Yeah.
and they were unapologetic about it.
Entertainment? Entertaining? What?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4.3.
Okay.
4.3 for me, Doctor Strange. All right, that's it for today's video. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think of the movie Doctor Strange. Are you looking forward to the sequel? Are you looking forward to him in other Marvel film adventures? Let us know in the comments below. Hey man, hey, it's all right, DC. I got your back. It's all right. We still love you, DC. We'd like to thank all you guys for watching. You guys rock. We'll see you guys next time.